There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, everyone. That is the voice of your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, and we are here for some Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear. I just like saying Cocaine Bear. It's a funny title. I like it. But the movie, Cocaine Bear, has finally graced us in theaters, and we got a lot to say about this this new could you call it a horror icon? I don't know. It was, the movie was horror-esque. We might see more of Cocaine Bear. I don't know. But with me to deep dive this film is fellow Yonko host, Grandmaster Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear? Bear of cocaine?
Yeah, Cocaine Bear's cool. It's a cocaine bear. It's in the name. It's ridiculous. And it was a ridiculous ride. So here we are, Cocaine Bear. I think it speaks for itself enough. It's whatever you think would happen if a bear got into cocaine, probably happened.
You don't got to read an article that says everything you need to know about Cocaine Bear before watching the movie.
No, I think it's very self-explanatory. Yeah, I think it's...
If you have any inkling about cocaine or bears, that's all you need. Go into that.
Correct. So, yeah, Cocaine Bear. We're here, cocaine. We love... Let me stop.
Bears.
We love bears. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Goodness. But we are not alone in this endeavor for some Cocaine Bear. We have supernovas here to join us alike. And let's get into it. Cocaine Bear. How do we feel? Well, first off, Cocaine Bear, right? Is it just me? Was the marketing for this movie like really on point? I feel like the only movie that I could see that had really good marketing, like in this kind of niche type of movie, was Megan. Megan had a really good marketing team, and I feel like that got a lot of people in seats. I kind of feel the same way for Cocaine Bear. They really just went in with the absurdity on the premise of a bear on cocaine, and they just went with it for the marketing team. Like, what do you guys think?
I feel I was exposed to Cocaine Bear thoroughly through social media, and I feel they did a really good job, because again, this is not something I would look up. You'd be like, oh, what new movies are coming out? Ant-Man, Creed, Shazam. I'm like, that's on my radar. Cocaine Bear probably would never have been on my radar, but they got it there, and they did it. And I thought our theater was pretty packed.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was going to be empty.
No, it sure wasn't. People tuned in, so I think the marketing was pretty good. And again, like you said, it's absurd, the idea of a cocaine bear, a cocaine addicted bear, and it sounds funny. And I think we got a little more than just comedy from the film itself, but I think it attracted its audience. It did a good job.
Yeah, I believe you brought up social media. I believe the first time I heard about it was on social media. I think I saw the trailer on Twitter. I tend to get to the movies like very late, so I don't see the trailers anymore. I just show up and sit down and the movie starts. At least that's my hope. So I never saw a trailer while I was going to see any other movie. So it definitely was a social media thing, and I agree with Dr. Jace. But people were really enjoying, but it did seem very absurd. And I think to your point and how you introduced kind of us talking about it is you don't have to know anything else. It's not connected to any franchise.
That's true.
We don't know if there will or will not be a sequel. Either way, you could just go in and know, okay, there is a bear who is on cocaine and things will happen. And it's 90 minutes. So it's also going to be very quick to get through. So I think there's some attraction to like the absurdity, but also I could just go and not have to worry about trying to catch up on years of IP, which is what was attractive to me on just a Friday afternoon after work.
You don't have to watch the ending of Eternals to have Cocaine Bear explained. Oh no, it's a single movie. It respects your time, 90 minutes and out. And I think that's commendable for a movie like this. I think the biggest worry that I went into with this movie was how tired would the premise be. I feel like going in, maybe it was just like, oh, the bear's on cocaine. Is that all they're gonna do? Just, you know, shenanigans, like the bear's gonna be dancing like a silly dance, like from Jungle Book, or I don't know, is he gonna talk like Baloo at one point? That was like the one fear that I had. That it was gonna be a running gag and it was gonna run its course too early.
That sounds more like Shrooms Bear.
Shrooms Bear.
Yeah, different drug calls for a different plot.
Is that the franchise? Just like bears on different
no,
different
God,
mind
no.
altering.
No, or just animals on drugs. I don't know. I feel you could
They
take
hinted at it at the end, kind of like
cocaine cubs.
No. The goats. Remember the goats?
Oh, the goats and the dog. They were making sure none of them got into the cocaine.
Right.
You could do a lot, sure. The different paraphernalia causes a different plot. I don't know.
That would be kind of funny. I if this blossoms into a new IP, a new genre, I'm here for it. But apparently the reason this movie was made is partially because it was inspired by true events. I don't know if either one of you want to go into the true events part. I did not know this until after the movie, because I was like, wait, that's a true story.
Listen, oh my gosh, Dr. Rika, let me tell you, this man walked out of the theater and he was like, this can't be real. A bear can't get into cocaine. I'm like, yes. I did
not say a bear can't get into cocaine.
I can't believe the believability.
I thought the true part of the movie was that there was a cartel delivery that went wrong. They dumped the drugs into the forest, and that's it. I thought there were just drugs. Right.
That is the only true part, is that a cartel, things went wrong, drugs were dumped. They never really found them, but they do know that a bear or animals had ingested some of it.
You see, Grandmaster? You see?
I said this was true.
You said, how can you not believe a bear getting on cocaine?
I said, what makes you think that is not believable? I said the killing and the comedy.
Was like, no, this did not happen.
That did not happen. No, the bear was found dead, OD'd. God, what a way for a bear to go out. That's actually very sad.
So they found the bear like in real life? Like it was just a bear just unconscious?
They found the bear
dead?
With the duffel bag. And it had eaten everything.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh God. Poor bear.
Right. It's sad.
So they did like did they like stuff him and put him somewhere?
Oh yeah, I think they did stuff him.
Wow.
I think he's in a museum in Tennessee.
I see it. Yeah, I have it here up on images.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know. He's a victim of human activity, and now he's on display for more humans. I feel weird. Oh, poor bear.
This is a PSA to, if you're going camping, get all of your items. Don't disrupt nature. Leave the bears alone.
Right. And now I've learned too, though. I mean, yes, this movie's inspired by true events. I did learn some good facts. If it's black, attack. If it's brown, lay down. I was unaware. This is good knowledge.
If you see a black bear, are you really gonna fight it?
No. I might stand my ground.
Creed 3
I might.
style.
But if he comes at me, I'm not gonna. Come on, bear. Come on.
You see the video of the guy and the kangaroo?
Oh yes.
Oh God.
The kangaroo that squares up.
Cocaine kangaroo. The untied. I don't know. It sounds like a sequel to Kangaroo Jack.
Could be a spinoff of Creed, the Creed series.
The Creed series, a kangaroo he wants to prove that he's the best. And
Right.
Despite who his father was, Kangaroo Jack.
Yes. It's a soft reboot of Kangaroo Jack.
You could go for days with this concept. Again, it's very absurd, and it's funny to just think about animals on drugs. Yeah, you could run with it for days, but goodness, I feel bad for the bear. But this movie did a really good job, and I think I was rooting for the bear at times.
Oh.
I really was.
Oh, I guess for like the bad guys, I guess air quotes. There was one bad. But actually, you know what? I didn't really want the bear to kill anyone at some points. I was kind of like, man, this guy could have turned a new leaf. Oh man, there was a lot. But I mean, well, how do we get here, right? How do we even get to
How does this movie get made?
Right. What is it? Like there was like a real life narcotics officer that was actually
the guy in the beginning of the film, that was real too.
The guy in the plane?
In the plane.
Okay.
He was found dead as well. His parachute did malfunction after throwing the duffel bags of cocaine, which, oh God, I don't have the number. I think the number they used in the film was accurate.
Mm-hmm. The like how many like pounds or
how much it was worth.
Okay. I think it was like 14 million, I think, in total. I think.
Yeah, but that was real. That was real. So I guess I don't know. That story sounds funny to tell, or like a what if scenario. I guess. It's for a comedy writer. I imagine they look at this story and said, we could do something with this, as we're picking it apart right now. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, you know them? Are you familiar with them and their work?
Chris Miller, yeah.
And Phil Lord.
I feel the name sounds familiar. And like,
all right, let me throw you some credits. 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Okay.
All right. The Lego Movie.
The duos together, both of them?
Together.
Okay.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Track record, Jesus.
They got a really decent track record. They've been a part of all the Lego films. A lot of these comedy films. Again, I told you the other day, they're the ones that got shafted from the Han Solo movie.
Right.
Yes,
the production hell that it went through.
Right. I think from a writing and producing credit, though, I think they're really well known for Into the Spider-Verse. These are the same guys that did Into the Spider-Verse.
That's right. Ooh.
And if I'm forgetting anything, y'all can correct me.
You brought up enough in terms of like giving them credibility. You got me on Lego Movie. I completely forgot that was their thing.
That was theirs. So I think they I don't know. They must have seen this and like, this is comedy gold. We can easily do something with this.
So they're part of the writing staff though, right?
No, they're the producers. They produced it.
Okay.
Yeah, they produced it. They're the ones who are getting this one off the ground. And funny enough, I say it's comedy gold, but I think they nailed kind of a blend between comedy and horror comedy.
Yeah.
I definitely feel at points in the film, the scares were there, or you felt nervous.
It was tense. It was tense.
Yeah, they did a good job. But I think they're in their bag here. I think this is right up their alley in terms of ridiculousness, absurdity, and just overall, kind of a fun outing. They bring on Elizabeth Banks.
That name sounded familiar. What was her thing?
I'm gonna let Dr. Rika take it. I know. Are you a fan, Dr. Rika, of Elizabeth Banks?
I do like Elizabeth Banks. I don't know. So she, of course, is an actress who's transitioned over to being more of a filmmaker and has been directing more frequently. But she has popped up like over the years. So we've seen her in like 40-Year-Old Virgin. We've seen her in the Pitch Perfect series. She directed I believe the third one. I can't recall if she did the second one too.
I think she did the second one as well. Yeah.
She's
Okay.
popped up over the years. And so Pitch Perfect is where she started some of the directing. She did the most recent Charlie's Angels reboot. And then of course now this particular picture. I really like Elizabeth Banks as far as like her being within films. I've always like as an actress, as a comedian, I've always found her to be pretty funny. I don't know if all of her directed films have been successful for me, and I even have critiques about this one. Mainly, I just wanted it to be a bit more campy and absurd because I
Ooh.
enjoy that my, animal focused horror type comedies. I like when they're just kind of ridiculous. And I thought it was just a little bit more serious than I anticipated, but we could get to that. Overall, I thought it was a good time. Um, but as far as Elizabeth Banks is concerned, the thing I do appreciate is one, Universal supporting a lot of like weird films lately. And as a big studio, we've had a ton of conversations kind of over many different podcasts around like there's a lot of IP and people and studios are trying to make the next big franchise because that's what makes money. And so there is this tendency for companies to not support just small, like for lack of a better word, small dumb films sometimes. Like if you think back to like us growing up in the 90s and even the early 2000s, you'd have like either a lower mid-budget film that would come out, would be kind of ridiculous.
Right.
It would make a little bit of money because some folks just want something to watch on a Saturday afternoon, grab some popcorn, keep it short, and go home. Like it's not always about like I don't need the next Oscar nominated film. I don't need something to be attached to, Fast and Furious or Marvel or Disney or anyway. I just want to go in, watch something, and then go home and feel like it was a good time for 90 minutes, 100 minutes, whatever it may be. So I do appreciate that Universal has lately been supporting films like this. And the fact that it is a ridiculous, like, animal horror comedy that's directed by a woman, because there is also a tendency for, like, films to be that are directed by women to be, like, shafted in like a niche type, like
Right.
it has to be very emotional or like heartbreaking. I'm even thinking the only film that's nominated for Best Picture this year that's directed by a woman is called Woman Talking.
Hmm.
And I won't get into the details because we're gonna have an Oscar podcast, but the premise, the story is really, really heavy. And while those stories need to be told, I also think just let women have fun. Like it doesn't always have to be about something that feels really heavy and weighted. Sometimes it could just be something really ridiculous, like a bear on cocaine. So this is my plea to studios and producers to support just more ridiculous stories that don't require a lot of brain power, but then also are directed and created by women that are just ridiculous and dumb because it's fun and we deserve to have that space too. So it was that's the thing I liked saying about the film, and I'm glad Elizabeth Banks got a chance to kind of lead into that.
No,
I
I definitely agree with that too, because I do kind of miss some of those just dumb, silly movies, like based on concept alone. A lot of the movies that people, are looking forward to nowadays is like, your next big Marvel, your next big like franchise type of film, your next big IP. I kind of just like this idea of a movie being one and done. Tells its story, checks out at the end. All right, did you have fun? I had fun watching this. This is the only Cocaine Bear. If there's no Cocaine Bear 2 or Cocaine Goats, if that's what they were hinting at the end, I'm okay with that. This was a really fun. This was a very, very fun movie. It's a very fun movie.
I just want to say quick shout out to Elizabeth Banks. I think, I didn't watch Charlie's Angels, but I heard that wasn't it.
I did. I will say Kristen Stewart was actually really funny.
Okay, I did hear good things about her.
She directed the new one.
The new one.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was thinking of the original and Full Throttle.
No, she could have been
classics.
Those were classics.
Those were, yeah. No, I think she's in her bag here. She's in her element. I think she's always been really good at comedy. So yeah, I'd definitely like to see kind of more women directed films that, as you said, just fun, just lean into it, just be kooky, be weird. I mean, again, I appreciate, as like you said, the films with a message and a story that needs to be told. But I like when people just are like, "Hey, you want to do something stupid? You want to you want to do this movie, the cocaine and a bear?" I think this is right up her alley. Dr. Jace, if you need a face, remember Effie from the Hunger Games? Primrose Everdeen.
Oh, that's Elizabeth Banks?
Yes, that's Elizabeth Banks.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did
Yeah,
not know
just
that.
I knew you were searching your encyclopedia for who she was. So
I was
there you
going
go.
through the data things.
I could
Yes,
give you more, but here, let's stop.
that's good enough.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: the one thing that really kept me hooked. There were a lot of things that kept me hooked about the movie, but one of the things that really got me hooked with the film, and I hate always making this comparison, but I guess it's like the first franchise to introduce me to it. The idea of having different like factions in a movie and their stories like eventually like combined together. I originally saw that in Game of Thrones. So every time I see it in other movies, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Game of Thrones. They're pulling a Game of Thrones there. It's definitely not original from Game of Thrones, but it's how I was introduced to the concept. So watching Cocaine Bear, I think they did a really good job having all these different types of people on their own little adventures and have them eventually cross paths with each other. I feel like that kept me engaged because if for whatever reason you weren't really with it for Dee Dee and Henry's journey with the cocaine bear, well, maybe you might like Sid's journey with the cocaine bear, or Ranger Liz with Pete. I feel like there's something for you are going to get attached to someone here, whether it's just them being so silly, or you wanting to see these people get eaten by the cocaine bear, or hoping that these people get away from the cocaine bear. I feel like they did a really good job. Were there any like standout groups that you guys like were attached to when it came to surviving cocaine bear? I liked Ranger Liz. She is a clown, but she didn't mean it. She didn't mean it. Oh man.
I would say I was actually particularly attached to any of the humans. I mean, I wanted the kids to get out, of course. I just found some of the setups. I imagine we'll get to maybe some of the scenes that we liked the most or were most entertained by. I just like the setups of like when the bear showed up, what was happening, whether it was climbing up a tree, we're in the cabin, the ambulance, whatever it may be. I think that's what I really liked. More so, I think the characters were pretty one note. I mean, we got 95 minutes. We got a bear on cocaine. Figure it out.
They don't waste
Right?
time.
And so it's not like I was anticipating any like big character study, but I will say I think I was less connected to the humans and more so like what kind of bear stuff is about to happen right now.
No, I would agree to that point too. I think the whole cast is pretty excellent here. Like
Yeah.
you got some heavy hitters here, like Ray Liotta, R.I.P. One of his
Right.
last films. Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Oh, I don't know how to say this man's name. Han Solo, from the Han Solo. Alden, I'll call him Alden. Margot Martindale. This cast is quite diverse and like,
There's a good range.
yeah, it's a lot of range, but I think this cast though, I credit to the writing, is that some of these characters are absolutely ridiculous in this plot. And then some of them are very much supposed to be more realistic. And I think it was funny to kind of see them clash together. But as you said, Dr. Jace, I was very much kind of like waiting for a lot of these points to collide. And I think they also did a really good job. There were certain scenes where, like when they were going down the path, some characters went to the right, some went to the left, and it was like, okay, so they're not going to run into each other. But what's the bear going to do? Is the bear going to go to the left, or is the bear going to go to the right, or is the bear just going to go running through the forest like he normally does and runs into whoever? I think the film also there are just some really funny setup, as Dr. Rico, as you were saying. I think some of these scenes really leaned into the campiness. Some of them really try to lean into, God, I was getting Jaws vibes some points. I was like, wow, well, they're kind of nailing it on the head. I'm like, I'm scared for these people. But then obviously some of them were just dumb. They're just dumb. They're just here and they're just stupid. Like, if the bear is gnawing at your leg, I mean, it's hard to say to run, but do something.
Fight back. So what if you lose your leg?
But yeah, I like the multiple storylines. I like the convergingness of them. They were really fun to go through. Yeah.
It was. It was in a lot of scenes, it was very graphic. I did not expect it to get as graphic as it did. And I mean, our theater's reaction was kind of on point for a lot of these. A lot of people were just shocked at how much blood was on screen. I mean, you would expect it. It's a bear like mauling someone, but
can I say this real quick? Because I want to know if Dr. Rika's theater was like this. Our theater was vocal a lot during this movie.
Like Marvel style vocal, like
reacting. Talking, reacting, screaming at the screen. That's. And again, I say this, the theatrical experience is really its own thing that you can't get anywhere else.
When the kids were trying the cocaine, when they were putting it into their mouth, the theater was wild. Just them eating it. I think the part where Henry accidentally inhales the cocaine by it looks like he inhaled it. The theater was like, oh no. They were so worried about this boy. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, I went on a Friday afternoon, so there were people, but it wasn't a lot of us. So I think all of us just were in our little corners.
Okay.
Fair.
It wasn't really packed for us to have a lot of reactions.
It's not a normal, huh?
No. Maybe if I would have gone a little later than but for now.
Sure.
That's funny. What other characters do we have in here? We mentioned Sid, Ray Liotta.
Should we provide some setup here as the moving pieces?
Right.
So Sid is the drug kingpin. Again, Ray Liotta, I think, doing the Ray Liotta thing, trying to get the drugs. He's got his son, played by Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know if I said that right. And O'Shea Jackson trying to get the drugs and retrieve the drugs. There's one party. There's Bob, Detective Bob. Goodness, Isaiah Whitlock. If you watch The Wire, the man is fantastic. He's just as fantastic here.
He's on the Labrador.
Oh, see. This is what I'm talking about. His whole little subplot with finding a dog and then he's getting attached to this dog. Stupid, but it's funny. It's funny. He's chasing Sid for years as a detective. So there's another party. Dee Dee and Henry, the children. You got to have that child element, I think, in horror films. Adds an extra layer. They just want to go paint. They skip school while their mother, Dee Dee's mother, Sari, is on the hot pursuit to retrieve her children. Ranger Liz. I think Margot Martindale had a really fun time in this film.
She did. She was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into it. Well, she's over here pining after Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who I almost didn't even recognize either.
That's him?
That's Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah. It took me a moment. I was like, why does he look so familiar?
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent job, too.
That's perfect.
You have the Do Champ gang, a gang of teenagers.
With knives.
Yeah. Stash is probably the main member who gets the most screen time.
That's the one in the yellow shirt. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the last one is Olaf. Christopher Hejuvu from Game of Thrones. He's Tormund, the Wildling.
Who is he?
Tormund, Giantsbane.
No, but who is he in the movie?
Oh,
Who's
he's the hiker.
Okay. Right.
The first victims
The-
of
the
the
first-
cocaine.
He was in the first scene. He established everyone getting mauled.
Y'all, I'm curious about y'all's thoughts because I just realized this. His name is Olaf. His wife, her name is Elsa. I don't know if that's a jab
Oh,
at Disney. I mean,
That's-
those names are pretty spot on.
of all the names, yeah, that's
Of all the names,
interesting.
just
Interesting.
wanted to throw that out there. They both ate it, by the way. So
They
you
both
know.
and they were eaten as well.
maybe this ain't your Disney run of the mill film. This is Cocaine Bear. I mean, I doubt they're trying to jab at Disney, but I mean, if there's any other parties involved, there is the one officer, who was Bob's partner.
Oh, God, we'll get into that. I have problems with that.
Sure, but that's it. Those are our moving pieces, and of course, the Cocaine Bear, and yeah, those are our moving pieces. Here we are. We have a story still. No, and I think that's part of the charm of the movie. There's no actual kind of story. It's just like
survive.
Well, it's like circumstances have brought them in contact with this cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Right. You have some characters trying to find the cocaine. You have other ones that just got mixed in with the wrong people, so they're just trying to avoid the bear. And Ranger Liz, she just wants Jesse Tyler Ferguson. That's her goal in this movie. And I can appreciate that. That's funny. I think she was probably like my favorite character in the whole movie.
She might have been the standout, I think. Just again the ridiculousness.
I will say that was what I was wanting more of, was what she gave me. Like, it was just completely leaning into ridiculousness. Like, she's not serious beyond just like a comedic performance around like a really ridiculous premise. And so I imagine we'll talk about some of her missteps, but those are the kind of characters, like I've watched a lot of like animal focused horror type comedies, and those are the characters that I frequently see. And that's what I like to see, is it's campy, you're leaning into it, it's tongue-in-cheek, where we're not really being serious because it's not a serious movie. So I really, really liked her character.
Well, I think I want to say after, Tormund Giantsbane gets attacked, I feel they are the first ones that run into the bear, because they find Henry up the tree. And then, they're like, what are you doing in a tree? And he's like, I'm hiding from the bear. He's like, bears can't climb trees. I'm like, of course they can't climb trees.
Bears don't attack people. What did you feed it? What?
And from there, I think that's where it really ensues. Margot Martindale with the gun. Oh, talk about a misstep. There's your first misstep. Why does this lady have a gun? Why is she out here hiking in the woods?
She just wants to get promoted to Yellowstone. That's her dream.
It's so funny. I watched this movie on Friday. Yesterday, I went to like a historic landmark or some historic something here in Illinois, and I saw park rangers, and it just made me think of this movie and specifically her character.
My heart goes out to park rangers now. Maybe they really do got it a little bad, dealing with roving gangs of teenagers and
With switchblades.
And
the bathrooms,
the occasional animal interactions. Who knows how it can go? But goodness,
I hope they're a good shot.
Oh man. Well, first I didn't think she was gonna make it out. The bear got her, and
it got a chunk of her.
He's like, the bear bit my ass, and then she's like hauling tail back to the ranger outpost, and then it just kept going. I mean, yes, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, second one to go.
Right.
Again, just never had a chance. Didn't even try. I mean, no, not RIP. It's funny. It's funny that he died. It's okay. I think the best scene for me probably took place in this outpost. Anything that transpired in this outpost, I
When they
found
got
to
back
be
to it.
well, even before with
Right. With
O'Shea Jackson beating up the kids.
right.
Him getting stabbed. O'Shea Jackson, I think he's often slept on too. I don't think I've seen him much outside of Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, man, that's Ice Cube's son, man.
He's bigger in this movie. I didn't recognize him.
He's a big guy. He's bigger than Ice Cube.
I mean, but he wasn't even that big in Straight Outta Compton.
What do you mean he played Ice Cube?
I don't know. He was definitely a bigger set guy in this one. You know what vibes he gave me? Like literally, I was literally gonna ask you this. He reminded me a lot, like with his performance and everything. Oh God, what's the guy's name? My chimichanga stand.
Craig Robinson. He was giving you Craig Robinson vibes.
Yes, he was. He gave me a lot. I don't know, just like his style of comedy, the way he was like delivering some of his lines. It reminded me of a character that he may portray.
I would say his character does remind me of Red. Not Red. I don't know his name, but Craig Robinson's character in Pineapple Express. That was, they're both like hitmen or they work for the drug dealer.
Okay.
But they're also in touch with their emotions a little bit. Like him, like crying over his jersey the whole movie, I thought was really funny too.
When he got his fingers shot off.
When he got his finger,
he said, "Not my jersey, man."
Well, he got his fingers shut off, and the guy was like, "How did he shoot those fingers off together? They're not even next to each other."
His pinky and his middle finger.
But the when Margot made it back to the outpost, I think this was the best scene in the film. It was hilarious and it leaned into the horror, and then it kept going like the bear climbing up on the roof and then mauling the one boy, but then oh my god, yeah, she shot the boy.
Yeah, just the like you said, I mean, even our introduction of her and she's waiting on, this, I guess, inspector character that Jesse Tyler Ferguson is playing, and I was already like, okay, I think she's gonna be funny. But when she did come back to the outpost, and from the outpost to the ambulance, this is the pinnacle of the movie. Because just she has this gun. We don't know why. Clearly, she doesn't really know how to use it. And the one time it's successful, it is not a good thing. She shoots the teen, and so they're all freaking out. And then the ambulance does come, and just from there's pieces. I think Grandmaster Hoop, you mentioned earlier that there's like pieces of tension and like a little horror element, a little Jaws feeling, of just like the bear being very menacing in that moment. And so I kind of like the blend of, yes, this, like, what's going to happen? Where's the bear? With like this absurd comedy element. Like the ambulance folks, the EMT showing up and they're like, what's happening? They're trying to open the door. And there's a reason why they can't open the door.
Oh my gosh.
And so to them getting in the ambulance, driving off, and just like, that whole sequence was probably the part of the movie that I laughed and enjoyed the most. That's what I expected from it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think her, and again, there's like some I guess not minute details, but it's very clever. Like her saying bear into the stethoscope, bear. And then the fact that the bear now recognizes any bag as potential cocaine. Because I was like, there's no way this guy's going to get out of this situation. And then, it felt like the bear was like, you played me. I want my cocaine. And here the bear is on a full-on sprint. I don't know if bears can run that fast.
Bears can run that fast.
Oh, come as fast as an ambulance? I don't even know.
They can pick up speed like you would not believe. I get it, because you look at a bear, you're like... That thing is so big and bumbly like Winnie the Pooh. Ain't no way he's chasing a car down. Bears can book it. If they got no obstruction in their way, they can tail it.
Okay.
Even if they can run that, even if they can run that fast, I was like, well, this bear's on cocaine, so he's got the extra
Even
juice.
worse.
I have bear speeds.
Bear speeds.
I have bear speeds. It says the North American black bear can run up to 90, or not 90, sorry, 30 miles per hour.
Jesus.
Oh, wait, how fast?
30 miles per hour, sorry.
That is it. Oh,
That
God.
matches with how fast they were going about when the ambulance.
It does, but goodness, ridiculous. I ain't running from a bear. Never. I'm done.
I don't know why I keep saying 90. I'm doubling this. 35 miles per hour.
No, there's no way.
35 miles
can.
per hour. That's what this Google
That's
article.
it's the same misunderstanding like even some of the characters we're having. They're like, bears can't climb trees. Yes, they can. You don't think about it because you're like, yeah, look at a bear. A bear's not equipped to climb a tree. Bears can climb trees.
I understand that part. That one's not hard to understand, but 30 miles per again, I really like how that scene played out too, because that bear is just booking it in, you know, and then he does like a superhero dive into the van. And
I loved it. And then like there's the tensity of like, you know, the bear chasing them down in the ambulance. You're wondering like, oh my God, are they gonna make it? You have we forgot to mention this, but one of the paramedics, the IKEA guy, the guy from
Scott Seiss is his name.
Scott Seiss. He's like on the door trying to close it, and you have Liz behind him shaking her gun, trying to aim it, and you're like, oh my God, is she gonna kill him too?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
She has to shoot this damn bear, and it's just like there's like I like the tension in terms of like you can see them being so close to just killing this thing if they were just competent. Just literally shoot it. Just shoot it. But I like the comedy where it basically keeps bamboozling them. It's a mixture of a lot of things. The the ambulance is swerving. The IKEA guy's like blocking the shot. Liz is a terrible shot to begin with. The bear is just booking it at them. It was just perfect. I loved it. And yes, the superhero dive and the way Liz goes out. I did not expect that. That was brutal. That was very brutal.
Very brutal at times. I think from there, the next big bear sequence is the standoff at the gazebo, which was another very entertaining moment. Isaiah Whitlock trying to get the drugs on top of the gazebo and does a little centimeter hop.
Why did Isaiah Whitlock come here? Was it just because to investigate the drugs that
trying to go after Ray Liotta's character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And there were news reports saying that where the guy who was throwing them out, where he landed, and they figured there was more in the park, so that's why he was there.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, you know, then meanwhile, Eddie Alden, his character is going through like, you know, his emotional crisis. His wife had just passed, and his son, because Ray Liotta is not granddaddy of the week, is left alone, and he doesn't know how to be a father, and he's bonding with the kid. Very, very funny. And then, you know, they come up on the gazebo, and you know, the bag is not there, but it's in Isaiah Whitlock's hands, and now we got a nice little standoff, a very funny moment. They're like, how'd you get up there? He's like, I climbed this tree over here, and I hurt my hip. So
how did he even jump? He said he climbed the tree and jumped over.
And he jumped. Yes, he said he jumped.
Because he did that thing, but before he even got on the gazebo, he saw the bag from underneath it, and he did that little jump like,
Yes, right. Again,
how did you get up there?
I find it's an extra added layer of comedy that they don't show him getting up there. We are to believe this man who can barely jump climbed a whole tree and jumped onto a gazebo. We just have to believe it.
Something to that.
And then, of course, the bear shows up, and more ridiculousness ensues. I think the bear is about to he's coming down. He's crashing. Which is funny because again, you look at you look at the elements of what cocaine can do, and the bear goes through a lot of the stages. He comes down.
Well, we will say this is the scene where we correct that the bear is not a he. The bear is a she.
Oh, right.
We learned this in the scene.
The bear's the vagina is right on top of me.
He said next to his ear too.
Yeah,
I was like, which how isn't it like, isn't his chest on your? I don't know. I didn't think too much into it. The positioning of the bear was like, I don't get how it's on your ear, but sure, just to confirm it's female, that's fine. That's fine.
Sure. The fact that it's on top of a grown man, that looks scary to me too.
I thought he was gonna die from that. I thought
he couldn't breathe.
I thought that was gonna be the joke. I thought if he was gonna get smothered, and that's it. That's how he dies.
And what a way to go.
What are our guesses on how much a bear weighs?
Ooh, not a ton.
300.
I'm gonna say 600, no. 700 pounds.
Right. Let's see. American black bear.
I'll go 400. 400 is good. I feel like it's heavier though.
Between 130 to 660 pounds.
Jeez.
That thing did not just like cozily lay down. It dropped on this guy's back. I thought he should have been dead.
That could have shattered some stuff, you know.
That could have.
Right. I mean, thankfully there's a layer of fur, I guess, that protects you, but that looks so uncomfortable.
I am sure it is, because he was left under there for a good couple minutes as they were trying to figure out, like, do we move the bear over? Do we kill it? They thought it was dead at that point, and then they checked its heartbeat, or they listened to it breathing, and they're like, oh no, it's alive.
Well, then the bear came back alive when it got another whiff.
It did. And
yep.
At that point, it got almost a little silly, because I was like, this guy, shoot the bear. Shoot it. It is not like doing backflips in front of you. Just shoot the damn thing.
No, man, they don't want to shoot Eddie. And again, funny enough, I think I read that, in the making of this film, they did not want to be uber violent towards the bear, and they didn't want to showcase animal kind of cruelty of them shooting the bear and the bear being in excessive pain at the fault of humans. I think they did a good job at sticking to that.
If that's the case, then it's interesting to point out that there is only one character that manages to actually shoot the bear, and that's Ray Liotta's character, who's considered like the bad guy, I guess, of the movie. No one else fires at the bear. None of the some of them try to fire at it, but they don't land any hits on it.
Right. I think they were like, all right, let's paint one person as the one who doesn't care for the animals. I guess everybody at one point really showed compassion to the bear, and like Isaiah Whitlock, he's drawing the bear away from everybody with the cocaine.
Right.
And again, goodness, addiction is a disease, people. That bear got addicted in less than 24 hours. I mean, I guess a kilo will do that to you.
I think ate the whole thing, man.
Yeah, ate the whole thing. Goodness, I think, then we come up upon, I think, our final major interaction with the bear in the cave, in the den. And Bob, Isaiah Whitlock's character, he ate it too. Ray Liotta shot him.
Oh God.
Do you want to talk about this element now? I guess
so it was cool that Ray Liotta got to the scene. He's now part of the active plot that's going on with the bear and everything.
Left his grandson behind. So that was a still funny running bit, but yes.
But then the partner, there's a plot twist, right? The partner of Isaiah Whitlock's character comes in. I've been working with Ray Liotta this whole time, and I thought it was gonna I didn't think it was gonna turn into something so complicated, like, oh, there's a deeper plot behind this. they don't really explain anything with that. She was just working with Ray Liotta, and then my thing with her is I would have been fine with it if there was payoff by the end. She doesn't have any payoff. She just kind of just walks away and is like not punished in any way for helping kill her partner. That was my only problem with her. I'm like, wow, I guess she got away scot-free. Everyone else got mauled by a bear, but she's okay. All right.
I'm gonna say this, and again, maybe I'm thinking too much. I feel it's kind of a meta commentary, kind of that third act plot twist that
the cop's partner was in on it all along.
Right, because his reaction wasn't even that hurt. He wasn't even that hurt.
Maybe.
He's just like,
go ahead.
Can you take care of the dog? Rosette. I think the name was Rosette.
He was like, can you take care of the dog? And then he started like saying how she disgraced her honor. Like, you betrayed the force. You betrayed your country.
Right. They're like, the United States of America. And she's like, okay. That's what I took from that. I was like, I think it's just supposed to be very meta. The fact that they dare include a third act plot twist when they did not need one.
Right.
As if the plot of a cocaine bear wasn't crazy enough already.
That's fair. But yeah, no, like after that moment with the plot twist, like everyone kind of just eventually kind of meets up at the cave. I think the mom character, I forgot her name. Sorry. She's the first one to get to the cave. That's where they find Dee Dee with Henry. The bits with Henry and Sorry, I really like them because Henry's just funny. Henry's funny. I feel like we haven't given enough love to Henry throughout his performance in the movie.
The kids are both good.
They're both good.
Henry given plenty more to do. Right.
Like asking these questions about cocaine and what happens when you get addicted. Oh my god, his bit with Dee Dee early on in the movie where he's trying to, toughen up and pretend that, oh yeah, I've done cocaine before. Yeah, it's obviously. I just thought that was super funny. I thought it was super funny that he was just trying to impress her like that.
I think the kids were good. I think I enjoyed the kids. They didn't overstay and they didn't overact. So, right. And oh my god, also I really thought they might die, and I was like, please don't kill the kids. I don't want to watch these kids die.
There were a couple points where I felt like, is the movie gonna go there? Are they really gonna show kids getting mauled by a bear? Because I mean, they really showed it for everyone else. No one was safe. Not the paramedics, not the hikers. At one point, I thought it got Dee Dee at one point. So I'm like, how did the bear just take you or chase you away? Like, how did you escape? This thing can run.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how are you alive? You mean to tell me the bear took you here and said, stay, I'll be back with more cocaine.
Babysitting the kids.
You try to explain it via like the bear is a mom and had 2 cubs. And if we try to like, oh, this is a younger human type of, we really want to try to find a way to explain it. But I was glad that the kids made it out. And I think too, in thinking of the violence, like it didn't feel like, I think there's some movies where the violence it's graphic and it's like disgusting. Like this felt like it was graphic, but in a humorous way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think the first time that there's a bear attack, we just kind of see a leg fly into the, onto the screen, and it just plops down. And so it's not, it was graphic, but not in a way where I was like clutching my pearls and being really concerned about. It was more of like, oh, okay, it's supposed to be kind of humorous and like a kill comedy situation.
Right.
I don't think it ever crossed the line to where like that was just too much, because there was that comedic element that drew you back in to like, okay, this is a comedy. This is completely absurd. We can be grossed out for a bit and then laugh it off, versus egregious amounts of gore.
And I think the most they ever got to was well, I mean, they showed some dude's head getting blown off too with the gun, but I think probably the most they ever like got to that point, and even then I still think it had a comedic lens to it, was kind of jumping forward a little bit when everyone meets at the cave and the bear and Ray Liotta and everyone's there. When the bear, attacks Ray Liotta and the cubs start pulling out his intestines, I'm like, wow, nothing like that happened yet, but it's the cubs doing it. It's the baby cubs.
It's cute. They're hungry.
Look at them. They're adorable.
Look, it looked like they're eating a thing of sausages. That's what that looks like right there.
A string of sausages.
Right. They're innocent. They're cubs.
They don't know what they're doing.
Oh, actually, yeah, Ray Liotta was the most. He started beating on the cubs.
Yeah, he was God, man, he was hitting those cubs with the butt of the rifle. Jesus.
All right, I was like, please, Mama Bear, please come in and eat Ray Liotta.
Look how that changed. We were this entire movie like somewhat rooting for some of the people to escape the bear getting to them and being mauled to death. And here we are, Ray Liotta being like the new threat, the new immediate threat in this scene, and your attitude changes. You're like, oh man, the only one that could save the day right now is Mama Bear. Where is she? Come on. And she gets that superhero entrance on the waterfall. She's roaring. I'm like, oh man, what a change in attitude. We're now rooting for this thing to come in and rip Ray Liotta apart.
Ooh, very Godzilla-like, Godzilla destroyed the city, but he's a product of human and messing with nature. Same thing with the cocaine. The cocaine bear is the real victim here. Okay, that is the real victim here. And yes, go get him, mama. And then, oh my god, she totally had a superhero moment. She got shot, she fell, landed on the edge.
This was good. Yeah.
And then it was like, come on, mama, wake up, mama. And what happened? They
Ray
ripped into
Liotta,
some of the cocaine.
He's trying to get the bag of cocaine because that's all he's obsessed with.
Yes.
And then one of the packages falls and bursts open on the rocks, and the Mama Bear inhaling it. That was funny too, just the way she inhaled it. Everyone in the theater started cheering. They're like, oh, here she comes.
It was given like superhero vibes. It was very much like the scene where, I don't know, Spider-Man gets the courage to stand up again, or Green Lantern's ring starts working all of a sudden, or the kryptonite is, or I guess the reverse of kryptonite, it's Superman going into the yellow sun. The cocaine bear needed that hit, needed the hit, needed one more line. There was, oh my gosh, there was a scene where it straight up did a line, like it was
earlier. Yep.
And I was like, oh my god. But yes, it climbs back up and gets Ray Liotta. What a way to go. Yeah, we were rooting for the bear. It's crazy. I give it to them. I give it to them for making us care for the bear.
Right. It was funny. It was pure comedy. And that's kind of like where the bear and the cubs kind of stop interacting with the characters, because at that point they're just content with having more cocaine. The cubs were also on cocaine, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
we didn't even mention that, which is unfortunate. The cubs, I'm surprised they're even alive. I'm surprised the bear is even alive, but the cubs especially. But they're just having the time of their life with Mama Bear and the kids, and Sorry eventually, they jump off the waterfall. They meet up with O'Shea Jackson and Solo at the base of the waterfall, and they all just kind of go their separate ways. They give each other the nod, like, we survived. Let's keep it that way. Let's go our separate ways. I think this was just so dumb. What is it? The partner just takes out the dog and just lets it loose in the park. Right?
No, they take the dog.
Well, right. She takes the dog, but he takes the dog, but she takes the dog out of her car and she just like lets it loose, like just like wherever you go.
She clearly didn't want to take care of that dog.
She did not want to take care of that dog.
But that dog still found a good home, thank goodness.
Found a great home, right?
Unfortunately, that dog also got into the back pocket of O'Shea's character, or Eddie's character.
O'Shea
Alden.
Jackson.
The fingers. The dog got the fingers.
It got into Solo's back pocket because he was carrying the fingers.
Right.
And the rig. Yeah. Yeah.
So he ain't getting those back. Stash made it out with a stash of cocaine. Got picked up by the goat farmer. As like you said, could have cocaine goat on the way.
You never know. I don't know how they're gonna. You never know. I thought it was a nice little like mid-credit scene to show off. Like, you know, you could just take it as a joke, like, oh, look at them being silly about a goat. But it could just be a hint at, I don't know, if this movie does well, maybe other animals on drugs, narcotics. I don't know. We'll see. So that would be funny. But I like that. I like that bit.
And then I think the last bit is just them walking away too. And Sorry's like, don't look at that, Henry. Let's walk on this side.
Liz's body. That's the meat crown that's on the pavement.
How rude. That's kind of rude. No kind of, let's stop in. That was the ranger that tried to help us. You know, they just said, let's keep walking.
I don't even think she was aware of who that was.
Probably not, but goodness, just kind of, we're going to keep going this way.
Don't look at it, Henry. Don't look.
There was the last shot, of course, of the mama bear and the cubs.
Right. Right.
And some other hikers have evoked the wrath of Cocaine Bear, because I think Cocaine Bear now realizes humans might have cocaine.
Maybe. So
and
that's
I think
why it starts attacking people.
I think they'll do anything for another bump, just like an addict. Which is it's funny to joke about because it's just a movie, but it's also, there's some deeper commentary here, I think, when it comes to drugs.
To the point where like drugs don't just affect you, it can affect your family.
The
kids are hooked on it too. Ooh.
And everyone around you. Yeah.
It
you
tears
become
you apart.
You become a danger to yourself and everyone around you. Wow.
10 out of 10. I love.
Have we nailed it on the head? Is that it? Did we nail it?
Oscar
Is that the deeper commentary here?
Yeah.
Mess with
easily.
Okay.
I agree.
Wow.
This movie was fun. This movie was pure fun. But yeah, like the movie just kind of ends, and there's like a post-credit scene at the very end. It's dumb. It's just the bears growling. And that's it. If you gave him, whatever. It's not really even a good end credit scene. But overall, this movie was just fantastic. I feel like it really leaned into the silliness of its premise. And I mean, I know they're really different movies, but at the same time, I feel like they're so similar. I think this is like a better version of Megan in terms of like a horror comedy type of film that's like just such an outlandish concept that you don't really think of, because when you think of like horror movies, you think of like, you know, your serial killers, your possessed dolls, your psychopaths, stuff like that. But with Megan, it was like, you know, an AI robot that's a caretaker for a child, and it just goes crazy because it takes its job too seriously. Cocaine Bear, it's a bear on cocaine, and it's looking for that next hit throughout the entire movie. And it just mauls people to death and hoping that it gets that next hit. I'll be honest, I like this more than Megan. I really like this movie. It was funny from beginning to end. I kind of want to see another one. But I don't need it. Like, I liked it so much that I want to see another movie, but I'm okay if this is the only one.
Cocaine Grizzly, Cocaine Panda, Cocaine Polar.
Panda.
Cocaine,
all the variations.
Yeah, Cocaine Sloth Bear, Cocaine Koala Bear, which is not really a bear.
Is this what the Blood and Honey horror movie of Winnie the Pooh should have been?
No, that's its own weird thing that we will not get into. Yeah, I think you can compare it to Megan as far as recent horror comedy outings go. I really just enjoyed the stupidity and ridiculousness, and there is a clever charm to this movie. Uh, but as we've been saying, 90 minutes in and you're out. I'm starting to like movies that fit that time, that running time.
I like that. I like that.
It doesn't ask me to invest much, which I enjoy, having invested so much to various franchises. And I think it's just a fun time. It's a fun movie. It need not be perfect. It's just sit back and indulge in this zaniness, and I'm here for the zaniness. I like it.
Yeah, I feel similarly in terms of like, it was nice just to go in, watch something, and leave. And so there's no expectations before, there's no expectations after. I think you enjoy it for 95 minutes, and it is what it is. And I like just absurd premises. I think it's fun to have a concept. Uh, do I think it holistically worked? I say this because like I wanted it to feel a little bit sillier, but at the same time, I had a good time, and I can't complain about just like the runtime and the fun characters and just a ridiculous premise that, at the end of the day, was just like creative, right? I don't think what I
Right.
appreciate about some movies is that sometimes things don't need to be complicated. They could just be one particular conceptual idea. It may or may not work, but it's creative, and I think that's what's fun overall about having movies. And even if they're TV shows, I imagine have their own like absurd premises that it just works. So I hope to have more films like this where we just enjoy an original product that isn't connected to any wider universe or sequels or anything like that. It's the film. You go in, you enjoy it, and then you leave. And I am in support of that. So I think similar to Grandmaster Who, but I'm liking movies that are a little less than 2 hours more so lately because, yeah, you want to watch a movie, but you also don't want to give up 3 hours of time.
It's a scary thought.
So thank you, Cocaine Bear, for being half of that.
I give credit where credit is due. It told the story it needed to in that 95 minutes, and I can respect that. And I'm hoping with the success, I feel like this movie's gonna make bank. I feel like it's gonna get good word of mouth. Its social media influence was pretty strong. It got us in the theaters to watch it, similar to how Megan got people in the theaters. I'm hoping that with the success financial wise for this movie, Cocaine Bear and Megan, we get more silly movies like this. I want Hollywood to be more brave in tackling just silly little movies like this. They don't have to be horror comedies. They could just be, just silly concepts that no one's ever really thought of that sound dumb on paper, but it's like, hey, let's just give this a shot. If it's a failure, it's one and done. We never have to come back to it again. So I'm hoping that this kind of makes them a little bit more brave and not worrying about what's the next Marvel Cinematic Universe IP that we can establish.
Bring back the low to mid budget
Yes.
movie.
Yes, bring them back.
Bring
Whether
them
it's
back.
horror movies, comedy. I think really horror feels like the only genre that has been able to keep that momentum as far as like low to mid budget movies and be pretty successful at it. Like as far as other, like we don't see action films or dramas or comedies or romantic comedies kind of in the same way. A lot of them maybe go directly to streamers. So it's fun to just see like a Universal being like a bigger established production company just like support low to mid budget films, whatever the genre or concept they may be. It gives folks a shot.
I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Let's see more zany ideas like Cocaine Bear and Megan. These were fun little romps. But yeah, I think that kind of sums up our thoughts on Cocaine Bear. I guess if you wanted to give it like a final grade, final score in general, what would you say?
Ooh, yeah. I gave it a 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Okay.
Which I'm curious about Dr. Rika because I think I saw her score.
Yeah. So the thing is,
Uh-oh.
you, just like many other people that I reviewed it, I understand why people would give it like 4 or 5 stars. And everyone has their own ratings and how they, attribute stars. For me, whenever I am putting something on Letterboxd, it's like how I, in most cases, like my view of the quality of the film and like how I connect it to it.
Sure.
There are going to be like some ridiculous films that I may have at 4 or 5 stars. But I try to keep it relatively consistent. So I did give it 2 out of 5 stars because at the end of the day, it's this silly little movie that, if we want to get into the weeds of it, I don't think it needs to do. Like, I don't need to be critiquing the plot or the writing or the dialogue or the cinematography. It's not that kind of movie.
Sure.
I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Did I think it was fun? Sure. Did I tell people that asked me, like, how was it? I was like, yeah, watch it. It's 90 minutes. It's dumb fun.
It's a safe movie. It won't eat up too much of your time.
You're gonna have to explain people. Well, if they ask you your star rating, they're gonna be like, "Go watch it," but you gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that I have rated like 2, maybe 3. 3 is probably an average, but there's plenty of movies. Like, for example, Roadhouse. Is that a 5-star movie? No. But the spirit of it is 5 stars.
Sure.
The film. So I think there are a lot, and that I actually think that's a really good comparison of like a ridiculous premise into like a mid to low budget film, and you just have a fun time with it. I think there's some of these like cult campy classics that they're not actually like if we look at the details, probably good, but they're fun. That's all that.
That's the important bit. As long as it's fun, and it's a fun movie for sure. But yeah, overall I think we all enjoyed Cocaine Bear. And go out there and watch it if you're listening to this. I think it's worth your time. And yeah, it's just 95 minutes. I think that's the biggest point. I'm just so glad how short it is. I don't know if Marvel did this to me or the superhero genre. I don't know, man. 3 hours is too long for movies.
Embrace it.
Embrace it. Embrace the animated film clock time of 90 minutes. But yeah, take a look at Cocaine Bear. Let us know what you all think of the Bear of Cocaine as well. What did you like about the film? Did you dislike certain elements of it? Do you recognize the IKEA guy as the paramedic in the movie? He was funny. He was funny for his bit. I hope I see him in more movies after this. And just let us know what you think overall of Cocaine Bear. Wherever you're listening to us on, whether it be Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, at the Yonko Table. Let us know what you think down below, and we'll catch you on the next one. I am your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop, and Supernova Dr. Rika. Signing off. Rawr.
Rawr, cocaine.
Cocaine bears. See you guys.